Hi everyone, welcome to the first video of my new behind the scenes vlog series, How I YouTube. When I first started my channel 4 years ago, I found that there wasn't really a lot out there to help me get started, and I had to learn a lot of it along the way. I thought maybe me sharing some of my experience would help kind of demystify the process and help anyone out there who just wants to get started, even if you have a limited budget. I get asked a lot about the equipment that I use, so to make things easier for you all, I started putting all of my equipment lists and recommendations on kit.com, so you can go there to see my audio gear, video gear, general violin stuff I recommend. I also have an Amazon storefront page now where I list all of these things as well. If you purchase any of these items through those links, I do get a bonus for that. So if you're thinking about buying any of these things already, it's a great way to support this channel at no extra cost to you. It's really a win-win for everyone. Today I'm going to take you through all the mics I use for my videos from the beginning of my channel until the ones that I currently use, and let you know what I like and don't like about each one and what I use them for. Disclaimer, I am not a professional engineer. Everything I'm saying in this video is just my personal opinion based on trial and error and just my own experience. So let's get started. Alright, so the first mic I ever used for my channel was this H2 Zoom. I actually have owned this since I was in college, which was a very long time ago. I don't even think you can really buy this model anymore. Though Zoom does have newer models I have not personally used, but I have other Zoom products and they've always been really great for the price, especially if you're starting out and don't want to invest a lot to just hurry up and get started. So even though I've had this mic for forever, I still use it all the time, and I will tell you why. It is battery operated and has its own SD card, which means you don't have to hook it up to a computer or an interface to use it. You can take it to someone's house and record your rehearsal or a live concert somewhere. And I use it all the time for that. You can use it as a USB mic though, so you could plug it right into Logic or Pro Tools or whatever, and it will work just fine that way. It has multiple polar patterns, which means different miking setups from mono to stereo, and that makes it really handy for me for the things I need to record. I'd say about the first 15 or 16 string quartet videos I did on my channel were done using this mic. And I still use it all the time to record things like rehearsals with other musicians, when we're just working out stuff, arranging at people's houses. Yeah, it's a really useful microphone. I think any Zoom microphone is a good investment for someone just starting out. The next mic I'm going to talk about is the Yeti, which I'm currently using to record this vlog. I use it for all of my speaking videos for my vlogs. I initially bought it to record violin as my first USB microphone because I was not aware that the H2 Zoom could function this way at the time. I was totally new at recording and stuff, and I just did not know that I could do that with the Zoom, so I bought the Yeti. I thought it would sound nice. And it also has multiple polar patterns. It's basically my only Omni mic, so I use it all the time to record harp. It can be really convenient too if you're going to record at someone's house to just bring a USB mic, because then you don't have to bring an interface, you don't have to bring all this other stuff. You just plug it directly into the computer, and it's just generally a lot easier. So I think it's a great mic to start with, and especially if you're going to be doing things like podcasting or speaking and vlogging videos, because I still find it's great for that. So after using the Yeti for a while, I decided to upgrade to an XLR mic, and a friend of mine recommended the Blue Baby Bottle, so I got that. Initially I was having issues with the Yeti that the higher range of the violin started to sound a little bright or harsh. This is a problem I find with most microphones, not just the Yeti. It's hard to capture the higher frequencies clearly. And the Baby Bottle is actually kind of darker on the high end from what I can tell. First, I loved that about it. It's like, oh, I could play up high on the E string and it sounds super clear and full. But even though that was great about it, it does seem to, in my opinion, have less clarity in the mid-range and the lower range recording violin. You know, I used this for quite some time, and I probably would not have bought it again if I was just starting out and knew what I knew now. I probably would have gotten a different mic. That said, I know a lot of people who use Blue microphones who love them, and so maybe for some instruments it works much better. This is just my experience recording violin. It's going to be different for everyone, you know, depending on what you are recording. It's such a personal thing. So that's just my own 2 cents about it. All right, so after using the Baby Bottle for a while, I was starting to do more recording work for composers and outside projects besides my own. I wanted to have a more studio quality mic, so I got the Shure KSM32. A good friend of mine who does tons of professional violin recording work uses this mic and highly recommended it to me, so I thought that's good enough for me. And I used it for quite a long time. I really like it. It's a solid mic. It's a cardioid condenser mic. The Baby Bottle was also a cardioid mic, which means it records kind of what is straight in front of the microphone. The thing I love most about the Shure mic compared to the Baby Bottle was how much clarity I got, especially in the mid-range. Everything is crystal clear, you know, it's this very defined sound, which you generally want when you're recording violin, and I really like that about it. I use the Shure to record violin, to record cello, to record harp. I've used it in a lot of different ways and it always sounds great. It's a solid all-around mic and I definitely recommend it for anyone, especially recording violin. So moving on to the nicest microphone in my collection. This is the AKG 414 XLS. So I got this mic because really wanting to invest in doing more remote recording work for other people. I had seen this mic in every professional studio I've ever played at and thought, wow, that is such a great mic. I want one for myself. And the nice thing about this AKG compared to the Shure, because the Shure was great, honestly, but one of the things I really love about the AKG is that it has multiple polar patterns. So it's not just a cardioid mic. And I was starting to develop quite the collection of cardioid mics. And that's a little limiting when you're trying to record more than just solo violin. I wanted to have more options. And so I really like that I can use this mic as a solo cardioid mic, or I can use it in figure 8 pattern and do mid-side with it as the sides. I'll explain more about that in a second. So I just like that I had more freedom with it. I've also since used it on viola, cello, and harp, and it just sounds great. It's a really solid professional microphone, and I'm really happy to have that be my kind of current main solo mic. Now, to talk about recording in stereo, I mentioned that the H2 Zoom was what I recorded most of my beginning quartet videos on. After that, I think I borrowed a couple sets of mics from other people because I didn't have a stereo pair. To record quartet well, you really need to have two of the same microphones so you can record an XY pattern, which means like pointing them like this, basically. So I found these. When I was researching, I had a certain amount of money I wanted to spend, and I found people on online forums talking about these mics, saying that they were easily worth twice as much as they cost, which is not very much. They come in this tiny little box that's super cute. Look at how small this is. This is the CM3 by Line Audio. They are so small and light. They sound really great. This is probably the best value investment I've made in microphones ever. They just are so great. I love that they're small because they're easy to position, you know, they're not heavy. If you're using cheap mic stands, they're not gonna knock it over. If you're recording with the mics in the video, they're not like super in the shot, which is important for me because I do a lot of live, video. I found them to be all around a super great investment, and I use them all the time and don't plan on upgrading anytime soon. I think they're really great and highly recommend them, especially if you need a stereo pair to record stuff like harp, piano, guitar, or string quartet. I think it would be really great. All right, last but not least, though not best either, to be honest, I got my first ribbon microphone recently. It's the Avantone CR14. And the reason I got it was because I had some issues with using condenser mics to record violin and having the high end be too bright. Ribbon mics are supposed to give you a darker sound, and I thought that was worth looking into. So I just got this ribbon mic because it's considered a pretty good value mic for the price. It is also one of the most inexpensive ribbon mics you can get, because ribbon mics are usually very expensive, and I didn't want to drop a lot of money without even knowing if it was going to work for me or not. So I got this mic, and it does sound very different from a condenser mic. And I will be honest, I don't like how it sounds to record violin by itself. To me, it has a lot of self noise and kind of a low output signal, which I know is kind of a universal thing with ribbon mics. So I don't know if it's more so with this mic than others, but I understand that that's a common issue. But the thing is, I use it together with the condenser mic, and it's like, the darkness of the Aventone and the bright clarity of the condenser kind of mesh together and make a much more well-rounded sound. So I started using it to record in mid-side, which is when you have a main cardioid microphone and then you have one that is in figure 8, which means it records on either side, and you use them together to make 3 channels in stereo. Basically, it sounds complicated, and it kind of is, but basically you need a mic that records in cardioid and one that records in figure 8. So I use both mics together to create a stereo sound, and it sounds really great, and that is what I'm currently using to record all of my solo violin stuff. I record in mid-side with the AKG and the Aventone, and it sounds great. It sounds so much better than anything else I had done previously. Yeah, it works so well. I probably will be upgrading to a much nicer ribbon mic in the future to add to that. But in the meantime, this totally works, and especially for what I'm doing here for my channel, and I think it sounds a lot better than it used to. Alright, thanks so much for watching. Please comment and let me know if you like this video, and also if you have any questions on anything I talked about. I know I kind of mentioned some technical things and just kind of glossed over them quickly in an effort to keep this short, so if you need me to clarify anything, or if you have any questions on anything I did not cover, please let me know in the comments, and let me know if you found this helpful and if you want to keep seeing videos like this in the future. I thought maybe I would talk about my video equipment next time, but I'm totally open to hearing about what you guys want to see and what would be most helpful for you. I really appreciate your feedback. Thanks so much.